Progressive overload: definition, application, and how to achieve it. Simply speaking, it's just a way by which you can introduce some kind of stimulus, controlled stimulus to your training routine week after week, month after month, to make sure that you're progressing along the lines of the goal that you're trying to reach. The goal must be specific, and the dosage or the stimulus that you're trying to achieve or trying to provide to your body week after week is controlled and not in a haphazard manner. So how do we go about the implementation part? How do we implement the techniques of progressive overload in our training? I'll try to keep it simple. We'll take very simple examples and see how to go about it. The first thing is the weight that you're lifting. For example, if you're performing any particular exercise and you are able to lift, let's say 10 kilos for 3 sets for 12 reps each in the first week, and for the next week you are able to lift 12 kilos for 3 sets for 10 reps each. So that means that you're progressing in terms of weight. Your body has adapted and allowed you to lift 2 kgs more than the first week, and this is how you progressed in terms of weight. But now keep in mind that it won't be practically possible or feasible or should be suggested to lift heavier weights each week. You also have to make sure that you're not constantly chasing higher weights at the risk of your form or the technique, so you have to be mindful about that. But this is how you implement progressive overload, by using just the weights. Now there is the repetition part. For example, for the same exercise, you are lifting 10 kgs for 10 reps for across all the 3 sets. But in the next week, or let's say next to next week, you are able to lift 10 kgs for 11 reps for the same exercise across all the 3 sets. That means you have progressed in terms of reps. So that also counts, that also matters. This is also another way how you go about implementing progressive overload. Now there's another way which is not limited to just weight repetitions or number of sets. It's how efficiently you lift the weights week after week, month after month. For example, if you're performing an exercise, let's say bench press, and you were struggling a bit during those 3 sets in the week first of your training, but let's say towards the end of week 4 you have gotten more efficient at it, you have much more control over the same weight that you were lifting in week 1. The weights are same, the sets are same, the repetitions are same, but you have much more control over the weights that you are trying to move from point A to point B. This can also be considered as progress in terms of overloading through efficiency. So these are some of the ways that you can keep track of it. The end goal of all these things or all these strategies is just to provide you controlled stimulus which is challenging enough for your body to adapt to, and you can make progress week after week or month after month. It will totally depend on the goal that you're trying to chase. The training strategy or the way you approach it will look very different for different individuals. For someone who's trying to run a marathon will have a different strategy to challenge themselves, to challenge their training. They have different ways to do it. A person who is trying to get better at lifts will have different ways to do that again. And to make sure that all of these things come together, sync together and work efficiently, you have to make sure that your nutrition and recovery is also on point. Because if those 2 variables are not up to mark, there is only so much lifting heavy that will allow you to make progress.